We have repeatedly observed several odd sightings around our sun. While they have all frequently been classified as natural occurrences by NASA, there's no doubt about the fact that there are a lot of aspects of the sun that we still don't understand. So does this mean there are other civilizations who know more about our sun and could be carrying out a starlift? With so many indications that this is a possibility, we would in this video investigate the facts available and determine if extraterrestrials are actually mining our sun. First off, for those in the dark, starlifting is a term for describing any process developed by a species that is capable of removing material from a star. These extracted materials can be converted into something useful. So there may be other species that have mastered this kind of cutting-edge technology, as humanity is far too low on the Kardashev scale to build such a tool. What's a Kardashev scale, you ask? A civilization's level of technical development can be hypothetically determined using the Kardashev scale, depending on how much energy it can use. Freeman Dyson, an American mathematician and scientist, first suggested in 1960 that an advanced alien race might have created a device that completely encircles a star and harvests a significant portion of its solar power output. With this possibility in mind, the question posed in everyone's heart is this: is there a massive UFO feeding off our sun's energy? The field of astronomy is currently in its prime. With today's technology, we can capture the most accurate photos of planets, their moons, stars, and even exoplanets. Given that our sun is a brightly lit ball of nuclear fusion, imaging it is neither particularly simple nor safe. Nevertheless, within the last 10 years, researchers have managed to take the closest images of our star as well as the most precise images of the surface of our sun. In addition to the satellites that keep a careful, constant eye on the sun, there are also observatories on the ground that never lets the sun out of their sights. So you will quite agree that it is nearly impossible to miss anything, however unexpected, when examining something with such vigilance around the clock. But what if the unexpected phenomena that could be gathered from such observations have the potential to turn the world upside down if word of it spreads? Despite the possible outcomes of such scenarios, it does nothing to change the fact that some strange objects have been seen close to the sun in pictures and recordings live-streamed by NASA. Following the release of the said footage that involved a UFO sighting, which could largely be regarded as unintentional, NASA abruptly ended the live stream. While many would have thought that this was the last we would hear of the event, shockingly the FBI swooped down and abruptly shut down the solar observatory responsible for the recording. NASA's sudden interruption of the footage comes as no surprise, as this is not the first time that the live feeds have been ended when anything beyond the ordinary comes into focus. Let's not forget that a live streaming video feed from the International Space Station also enables space fans to watch the Earth and the solar system using cameras installed below the orbiting spacecraft. Even streams from this source have also been regularly interrupted whenever similar scenarios occur. And whenever NASA would be called on to explain, the excuse has always been that it was a technical glitch or the observed object was simply space debris. NASA's attempt at quelling the thoughts of alien existence with these mundane explanations has only fanned the curiosity of UFO enthusiasts. The best indication of this follows the June 14, 1947 UFO sighting and the establishment of the Dunn Solar Telescope of the Sunspot Solar Observatory, a facility dedicated to studying the sun, just 85 miles from the same area of the sighting. In the footage from the Dunn Observatory that caught the FBI's attention, also available on SOHO's official website, a strange-looking black cube was seen emerging from the sun. This was followed shortly by a large glitch that covered about a quarter of it. And while everyone was still watching in amazement, eager to see what would happen next, the live stream suddenly ended. Despite the unexpected end of the recording, we still have enough evidence of the unknown cube emerging from the sun. Many have implied, and many more are convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the space agency attempted to conceal something odd that was seen during the incident by claiming it was only a glitch. And just as we would expect, the given explanation to the observed object is why we have even come to refer to it as just a cube. But anyone with even a passing familiarity with space would recognize it as a solar flare, one so massive that it could swallow the entire planet. The bone of contention in this case, however, is the rectangle-shaped object that appeared right before the solar flare is seen, and it was at this exact point that the live stream ended. This incident would simply have been categorized under the usual list of abruptly ended streams by NASA, but the involvement of the FBI has sparked new conspiracy theories regarding the whole event. It was just like a scene from a movie when Black Hawk helicopters carrying FBI agents were seen flying over the Dunn Observatory in New Mexico on September 6, 2018, in a covert mission. They just simply swarmed in, evacuated the perimeter, and closed down the observatory as soon as they got there. Even the staff had no idea about what was happening, as they were only instructed to leave. The local sheriff and police didn't even get a debrief of the situation. Next, the workers were forced to sign confidentiality agreements, after which the observatory was locked down for 11 days before it eventually reopened. According to a statement from the FBI following the reopening, they claimed they were only investigating one of the facility's janitors, who was accused of having and distributing child porn. Although the suspected janitor was fired, there were no reports of him being detained or facing any criminal charges. The absurdity of the janitor story has led many to believe, even to this day, that it was all a cover-up. So what then could have been the true reason behind the sudden interference of the government? Some were even concerned that NASA might have seen the sun getting smaller, which would be the start of the sun's demise before it becomes a red giant. If this were true, then our star could be on the verge of consuming the Earth and exploding in a supernova. However, further studies made over time by various observatories confirm that our sun is in perfect condition. So, with the speculations of the sun entering a red giant stage ruled out, what other reasons could have warranted such reactions? Because you would have to agree, it gives off every shade of odd that the FBI had enough information to visit the scene, kept it locked for as long as 11 days, and conducted an investigation without making a single arrest. A large majority of people have even started thinking that it was probably all a giant cover-up for something much more significant. So the question still remains: why does NASA constantly try to sway the public from believing in the existence of aliens? Did they observe anything through that observatory that they weren't supposed to have seen? Or did they carry out their plan to prevent the observatory from observing something in particular while it was closed? For all we know, we just may never find answers to these raging questions.